Hello, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host, your friend, your coach today. This the second part of the day four. We're supposed to be yesterday, but I had an unexpected power outage for an entire block, so I was kicked out. And as we're just about to give the stage to Hannah Newman here, our copywriter extraordinaire, I was kicked out. And so she graciously accepted to come back here tonight. So thank you so much for that. Very gracious, grateful for that. And tonight she's gonna blow us our mind with her zone of genius, her gifts, and that is, helping us. She did that a little bit yesterday with people. I watched the video, not a little. She did it really well, helping you guys with crafting your offer, and we'll do more of that today. And she's gonna show her what she's really good at. So Anna, thank you again. Welcome back. Always a pleasure having you, my dear friend.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me once more. And very excited to be sharing this with you. I know I've met some of you before, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Actually, could you hook me
Yeah,
up with that, Lorenzo?
yeah. It's already
Awesome.
you have my
So,
blessings.
thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna do just a quick review of who I am in case somebody wasn't here yesterday or wasn't able to pay attention. So let me go ahead and set up. So, who am I? My name is Hannah Newman, and I help agencies, coaches, consultants, course creators, people like that generate multiple six and seven figures, sometimes even eight figures through intentional marketing and messaging. And I'm able to do this because I've got a lot of experience under my belt, and I'm very, very lucky for the things and the experiences that I've had thus far, including things like being personally trained and mentored by Alex Hormozi. I actually got my job with him by accident, and it turned into the most amazing accident that could ever happen in my life that led me to where I am now. So I've been in the industry for about 6 years, personally managed more than $35 million in ad spend, and I've personally helped build a performance-based marketing agency from 0 to 8 figures in just 10 months. So these are just a few of the things that I've done that I'm very, very proud of. And I want to talk a lot about specifically some of the things I did when I worked for Alex Hormozi, and I think is going to be the most um, helpful thing for everybody here in light of what we discussed yesterday, right? So I promise I'm going to try not to bore you guys. If you could please just stay and hang in with me till the end of this, I'm going to give you guys something nice as a thank you for coming to this. It's going to be my warm email sequence, a 7-day warm email sequence that you guys can use in your business. You can modify it to make it make sense. And I'm going to share with you why these are so important and valuable. But in general, these warm email sequences that I'm happy to share with you have been used by my thousands of clients to produce thousands and thousands and thousands of booked calls. And you guys can have it for free. You don't have to pay me anything for it. Usually people have to pay for this. You guys get it for free.
Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you guys for coming to Payman's awesome training. And I can't wait to listen to your podcasts in exchange for the free emails. So let's talk about what the bulk of what we're going to be learning today is, which is copywriting for conversions. Okay. So copywriting is going to be the most valuable skill you'll ever learn. And let's talk about why. Okay. It's vital for everything that you need. It's vital for generating leads. Copywriting. You need to know how to copyright if you want to generate leads. You need to know how to copyright if you want to nurture the leads. You need to know how to copyright. I don't know why it's doing that. If you want to close the deals, you really need to do this. And when you do it the right way, you can generate incredible results. So this is one of my clients that I leveraged my copywriting superpower for. So real quick, copywriting is just the ability to tell a story and to tell it in a compelling way that encourages and compels somebody else to take an action that you want them to take, right? And so when you fine tune this, you can get incredible results like this one right here. One of my clients, they made like $2.1 million just last year from just
Wow.
emails, from my copywriting on just emails, right? That's one traffic source that if you can leverage and you can use and you have good copywriting, you can monetize. Another one of my clients used copywriting and powered it through her ads, and we were able to generate $46,000 for her in 4 months. Copywriting, but the messaging through the ads, the journey that the clients were able to go through as we told them a story in the ads. Okay. Another, this is actually a VC, a private equity fund. We were able to generate $7 million in pledged investments
Wow.
in just 30 days. We were able to do this because we were able to craft a story about this fund that compelled investors to want to give us the money to buy the homes and do the things that we're doing for the fund, right? For this private equity fund, right? So when you do it the right way, it can be monumental to your business. And I want to talk about what the right way is and what you got to do. So it really doesn't matter what platform or vehicle you're using, right? It doesn't matter if you're on Facebook or Instagram. It doesn't matter if you're using a funnel or email. It doesn't matter what you're using. Messaging matters. It doesn't matter everything else across any platform, across any vehicle, doesn't matter. Messaging does. It's the only thing that matters. Okay. So you were probably going to wonder, like, what should you even write about? Because copywriting, like, how many of us have probably sat down on a computer and we're like, all right, I'm going to copyright because that's what I'm supposed to do, apparently. What the heck do I write about? How do I craft a message? How do I make it sound nice? That's what this is going to be about, okay? So this is going to, all the stuff I'm about to go through is going to sound really familiar. If anybody here has ever gone through,
One second, Anna, sorry. Could you please, if you're not talking, mute yourself in the background?
Did you get a look at the guy?
Anna, where's that coming from? Oh, okay, sorry.
Kimberly.
Sorry, Anna. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's okay. So some of the stuff I'm going to show you, these images are going to look really familiar, and some of the concepts are going to sound familiar if you've ever gone through any of the hero's journey training that Russell Brunson has provided, which I strongly recommend you go through. And I want to preface this saying the hero's journey is just basically a way that you can articulate your journey and or like how you can craft and define your journey and help other people resonate with your journey, right? To compel them to buy your stuff. We're going to use same and similar concepts to write our copy, okay? Now, I'm going to go through all of these different things. As you can see, backstory is right here first. So before I talk about it, I should have had a slide to preface this, but you don't need to do every single thing I'm about to show you in every single piece of copy. You just need maybe 2 or 3 pieces of one of these things, and you can write and craft really compelling copy, okay? So take notes all about these different styles and these different things you can do. And just remember, you can't just do one. You usually have to have 2 or 3 components out of all the things I'm talking about. And you can pick and choose which ones you want to pull together, but that's how you craft it, okay? So the first type of thing we can talk about is our backstory. Like, we're looking for ideas for what we should talk about in our copy and how to write, like what we should write about, so that way we can create a compelling message. We want to write about things that are personal to us, right? And that's what we're going to be going through, things that really are true to us, that don't feel forced, that we can articulate and sound like a human about, right? So backstory, this is an easy one. Where did you come from and how did you get here today? What's your origin story? Where did you come from? And so this is a really easy one for a lot of people, because you simply talk about, hey, I was born in this place. I grew up under these conditions. Now look at me now. Okay, so this is a very, very easy one that a lot of people can write about, and they can make it sound compelling. And we're going to talk about how to make it compelling and how to make it convert, but we're talking about the ideas first right here, right? Next thing, I want to talk about desires. You have your external and you have your internal. We have the external desires right now, which is, what is the external struggle that you are dealing with? So an example of this could be, let's say your house was being foreclosed on. Your external struggle at one point was your house is being foreclosed on. Okay. This was something that was external. How did that make you feel? All of that good stuff, which goes into the internal. How did that make you feel? So external struggles could be, what was the thing that was happening? What was the outside forces that were occurring? And then the other side of that could be, what were the internal things that were occurring? Maybe it could be related to those external things, or maybe it's just your internal feelings. Maybe it could be your internal struggle could be, I felt like my spouse didn't respect me because I couldn't provide for my family, or I felt inadequate because I couldn't provide for my family. Whatever it is, where I'm going with this is, we're starting to talk about things that we want to say to an audience, raw and real emotions or feelings, or experiences that other people can relate with. So it's meant to kind of be a little bit deeper than surface level, because you want to relate to your people. Johnny, you're a great example. I know you deal with a lot of people who are going through a lot of life transitions. This would be great for you. The internal struggles that somebody might feel when they're trying to go through a huge transition in their life. This would be like kind of expressing and talking about those internal struggles, that's something very important that you can talk about in your messaging. Okay. We talk about the walls that they might experience, wall that maybe you experience. It could be you're talking about your own personal roadblocks. It can be talking about a client's roadblocks that they had. So like I could say like my email client, right? Before working with me, Conversionly, that company, they had a dusty list of 20,000 emails. They paid for these leads, but nothing was going on. They simply didn't know how to do it. It was a roadblock in their business. They didn't know how to monetize that. They didn't have the right tools to monetize it. Or another roadblock could just be something about like they didn't have the team to implement to do X, Y, Z, or you, because you could talk about yourself, right? So here's another thing that you can talk about as a roadblock, a wall that is in the way of the destination that you or the person you're talking about wants to be at, right? Um, Everybody following along so far? Is it sounding good, making sense? Okay.
Yes, yes,
Like I
yes.
said, you don't need to write about all of these things in every single piece of copy. You just have to write about, you have to include a few different aspects. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. And you'll see when I give you that copy too. Then we have our epiphany. This is those aha moments. These are really good to include in most variations of the copy, most variations of messaging. You want to have that epiphany moment. People really like it if you're like, I used to struggle. Here, let's talk about a house. My house was my external issue is that my house is being foreclosed on, right? So my house is being foreclosed on, internal. It made me feel inadequate because I couldn't provide for my family. And then the roadblock is I simply just didn't know what to to do the thing that needed to happen, or to make money, to pay my bills, and to avoid losing my house. But then I had this aha moment. It's that light bulb moment. And then you can talk about that light bulb moment. And you could talk about it, and that could be just the substance of what you want to talk about in your copy. So that's another thing we can talk about in our copy. This is another thing or component, and this is an individual standalone piece of copy, or this could be something that you have um, in unison with everything else you're putting together. Okay. We have our frameworks. This is solid. Anybody ever see that where it's like, hey, who wants my like my simple my I don't know my 3-step framework to get XYZ? This is an easy way to write copy. If you have frameworks, use this. You could say something like, hey, I've got XYZ. It helped me achieve XYZ result. It's a 3-step framework. Who wants it? And then whenever you write the copy for it, you just list out, here's the framework that I use, and then here's the successes that I got. This is amazing. And it's just, if you use frameworks, you talk about why you created it and how it helped you achieve. We got achievements. We want to talk about our achievements. This is another thing you can talk about in your copy. If you're looking for ideas, you're like, I don't know what to write about today. Think about achievements. No achievement is too small to make it. If you can make it relatable to somebody else, it's something that you can write about. I said no to a customer today, or I fired a customer today. It was amazing. Or it could be, I got a last minute booking on a slot that I didn't want to do. Whatever your small win is, could be somebody else's big win. And so if you're struggling to find ideas to write for your messaging, this is one thing that you could do in order to implement that. Okay, in order to kind of plug that and have something to talk about. We want to talk about our transformations. Again, we want people to be able to resonate with us. We want to talk about our transformations, and we want people to be able to be like, wow, like they achieved this. They were able to get to this level. I'd love to be able to get to that one day too, and it'll help. It'll lift you up in their eyes, and it'll help build your authority, right? So, what was the transformation that you experienced? And talk about those things. And guys, you can have multiple transformations that you talk about. Again, you can have multiple pieces of copy, multiple messaging that you can talk about. Let's say I'm going to go back to the email thing. One transformation, those people, right? Because they're able to leverage a previously unused list of emails and now they're booking calls. That's one transformation. So now they have a packed out calendar. Another transformation that you could talk about, which is in the same vein, would be like an increase in sales, like the XYZ sales that have occurred and stuff like that. So you can talk about multiple different facets of a transformation and many different types of transformations in your business with your copy. But no matter what you do, no matter what you talk about, this is the part right here where people really miss the mark. You always, always, always have to include a call to action. This is the most important part of your copy, is including a call to action. If you are just putting words on, whether it's in an email or it's on a post or it's in a funnel, if you're just putting words somewhere and it goes through a story or whatever you're trying to tell them, and then it does not tell them what to do after, you have just wasted your time writing that. And it's just a post. It's not about copywriting for conversions. And what I mean by this is I might say something like, hey, I helped this company achieve XYZ through this thing. Before working with me, they had blah, blah, blah. So I go through the whole spiel. And then at the end, I would say something along the lines of, and if this transformation sounds like something you might be interested in, and if you're even, or like something like if you're even slightly interested in how something like this might work for your own business, tap the link below to do XYZ and let's get started. Or it could be, drop a comment below and I'll send you over XYZ resource. If it's something like that, you always want to tell people what to do. You don't want to assume that they'll know what to do. Don't just drop the link. Say, hey, if this sounds like something you're interested in, click the link below. Don't just tell people, or don't just expect people to click a link. Don't just expect people to drop a comment or send you a DM. Always, always, always go in for the call to action. It's so important, and I promise it'll increase your conversion rates tenfold if you just tell people what to do. It's so weird. We all like to think we're like super evolved species and all of this stuff, but we really just like clear directions. And the more direct you are with people, and when you tell them what to do, even through your ads or through your organic, they'll usually follow suit and listen if you just write it down. Okay, so here's some more CTA examples, call to action examples. If y'all want to go ahead and, oh, whoops, let me go back to that page. I want y'all to be able to screenshot that. These are really good ones. These are my favorite ones. These are the ones that convert the best. So things like tap the button below to claim your spot, or comment below me and grab a spot, or click here to book a call with our team. These are really, really good CTA examples that you guys can use when you're writing copy. Now, you guys are doing podcasts, right? So you're gonna have, I'm sure you'll have a podcast, a CTA in your podcast at some point where it's like, hey guys, if you're interested in being on my podcast, make sure you click the link below. That's a CTA. You're gonna do the same thing in your podcast or in any sort of free resources that you're giving away. These are also things that would go if you're like, let's say you cross post your podcast onto YouTube or whatever other platform, you would take all that same text and it would still go in the description of your podcast, so that way you can make sure people have a very clear understanding of what to do next, right? So before I dig into this, I know I kind of breezed through that because I know there's another speaker and we're trying to get 2 speakers in one day, so I'm trying to get through this as quick as I can for you guys and give you the value. Does anybody have any questions about what to write about or how they would write it? I'm about to talk about like what they'll be doing next, but I just want to make sure, does everybody understand the concepts of like the different things we can write about? Yeah, everybody feels good about it?
Go ahead, Johnny.
Sick. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah, just a quick one, Hannah. Around, like I personally have a hesitation when it says the call to action. I find it useful when somebody puts like a no obligation call, or like payment is that this is a free, claim your free spot and all of that. Do you find that in your experience, or?
Oh yeah, no, that you can incorporate that. That could absolutely be your call to action. So you could just say like, hey, if something like this sounds even slightly interesting to you, and you'd like to learn more, tap the link below to claim your no-cost consultation or your free consultation. Like, you just incorporate it, and you can interchange that for anything. Tap the link below to claim your free XYZ resource or whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And pro tip with anybody that's using the word free, if it's for the podcast, like coming on the podcast for free, that makes sense. Sometimes if you ever have issues attracting quality, let's say you're having issues with quality, try using and substituting the word no cost for free,
Mm,
and something about that can shift the quality. So
love
that's
that.
like a super golden nugget for everybody here. That's like one of my super pro tips. Yeah, try shifting that word and it usually helps. I don't know why. It's like a subconscious thing. So okay,
How about complimentary?
that was a great question. Complimentary is great. The only reason I prefer to do no cost over complimentary is because complimentary is a longer word. And when it
Mm,
comes to copywriting, you want to try to keep it at a third grade reading level if and when
yeah.
possible. So it's not a bad word.
Hannah, I had to check into something while you were speaking, and I think I may have missed something between transformation and the CTA.
Okay, we'll have this recorded, right, Payman?
Yes,
so we can
absolutely. It's all recorded. Yes.
Okay,
Fair enough.
perfect. Yeah, and I'll give y'all all the slide decks if
Okay.
y'all want the slide deck. we can have
Beautiful.
the slide
Thank
deck
you.
as well. Yeah, for sure. Perfect.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, so you guys are probably saying to yourself right now, great, like, that's awesome. I know what I should be writing about, but I still don't know how to write. That's a big thing. Everybody has great ideas of what to write, but like, we actually sit down at the computer and then we try to type something and then we think it sounds stupid. And then we either spend like 5 hours trying to get 2 sentences out, or we get frustrated and we just walk away, right?
I have
It's
a
very typical.
question, Hannah, if I
Oh, go
may.
ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. So yes, I understand that we need to keep our messaging, especially in writing, as simple as possible and keep it to a third grade level. But what if the audience you're targeting or the pain point you're solving is a higher level for people who are much more, say, educated, or you know, should you also dump it down in a way, or should you tailor your messaging to their level? And if you dump
So
it
that
down, would these people end up not taking you seriously? That's my dilemma.
that's an excellent question. So most industries, most instances, I would dumb it down. I would say 99% of the time. One of the only instances I would not do that is if you're talking specifically to doctors.
Mm,
Like, I find that highly, highly educated people, you could probably have some more sophisticated tonalities. So if your demographic is highly, highly educated, that vernacular might come more naturally to them, right? The other instance that I wouldn't use it that I've noticed is like any sort of high level investors, equity firms, anybody doing like big money, like, and their job is in private equity or like multi-million-dollar investments. Those people prefer higher um you can use
vocabulary.
more complex language with them.
Mm,
But most people, I've sold $50,000 packages and I've marketed $50,000 packages using third grade reading level marketing, and it works across the bar most industries, most niches.
thank you.
So yeah, for sure. That was a really good question.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about how we got to write it, right? So I wish that there was some secret sauce. I wish I could tell you that uh, just do this one thing and then you'll be a wonderful copywriter. It really isn't. Practice is what it takes. Thankfully, there are softwares out here that can help you a lot now. When I first started, it was very different. I was actually personally trained on copywriting by Alex. I had no experience. Alex said, "Hey, Hannah, I want you to write me 5 pieces of copy. They're due by tomorrow." I would give him the copy. He would spend about 5 minutes tearing it to shreds, and then he would reassign me more copy, and that was my life, and it was rough, and it was hard. But practice really, really, it was very important and vital to me becoming successful, and I did not get to be as good as I am by not practicing. So if you want to get good at copywriting, I encourage you to at least practice 1 piece of copy per day. If you try 1 per day, I promise you will get better. 30 days from now, you will be a lot better and you'll have 30 pieces of content. They might not be the best content, but they're still better than all of the other content that everybody else who's scared to try is writing, right? So
Speaking of that, Anna, a question. I've been reading some books about copywriting, and they recommend one of the ways to practice is take a piece of copy that is phenomenal and just keep writing it 5, 10 times. And these are long pages, old school type of thing that go for 5, 10 pages. So, what are your thoughts? Maybe not writing 5 times a piece of copy that's like 10 pages, but an ad or something that you really like. The reasoning behind is that if you it's one thing to read it, but actually if you write it yourself multiple times, that's when your brain really starts to to absorb it. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question. So I'll tell y'all what helped for me. I never personally benefited from rewriting or trying to write somebody else's copy or like expand. However, what did help me the most was starting to find creative assets to write stories about. So I would find maybe it's a testimonial, maybe it's a screenshot, maybe it's like a screenshot of something for my clients, maybe it's a testimonial from my clients, maybe it's a video. Like when I was doing it for Hormozi, for example, I'll just talk about when I was working with him. He would make his cool little videos, right, that we see in all the ads, or we had screenshots of all of our awesome testimonials, and he would literally hand it to me and he's like, all right, I want you to write 5 pieces of copy on this creative right here. That's how he did it. He gave me a piece of creative asset, and whether it was a video or a static image, and he would tell me to write a story on it. And so that is what helped me the most when I had something kind of to talk about and to reference. But it really is just write and don't try to take the shortcut. Don't try to do short form. Try to do long form copy. To make it your goal to write. If you're looking at a Google Doc, write a full page at least. Do a full page, the 11 or 12 size font. And make the copy look, because the way you make the copy look is actually vital to conversions. And I'll show y'all that here once I pull up the copy. But Payman, I hope that answered your question. That's just how
Yes.
I did it.
Thank you. Another question came to mind. Speaking of copy, my previous website was at 1 mile long copy of all the reasons why you need to have a podcast. And I realized that it's overwhelming. And then Jay, our coach, and all the high-level people I'm following, and also inspired by Alex, said, I looked at Jay's website, and his website is just one video, and then his page is full of testimonials. So at the end, just one question. Are you ready to be next? If yes, book a call. So I've switched my website from the mile-long copy to just video testimonials. And I'm seeing that now it's getting better traction. What are your thoughts on that? On actual results, testimonials versus mile-long copy? Of course, that depends on what you're selling and retargeting, but generally speaking, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So copywriting is just as much about what you do say as what you don't say. And the less you say, the more. Alex told me this phrase, and this is one of there's a few different things which I'll share, like some of my most valuable golden nuggets, but he told me this and it stuck more than anything else, which was every word has to pay its rent. Sometimes when we start writing copy, we start writing copy for ourselves because we think it sounds good. We forget that people don't really care. Only 20 to 27% of the words that you ever write will ever be read anyways. Okay? We like to think we're a really smart and evolved species, which we are. But the reality is that we have horrible attention spans. We have a lot of things going on in our worlds, especially business owners, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are targeting business owners or professionals. They're especially busy. So to answer your question, Payman, people don't really want to spend the time reading. They'd rather see and user-generated content, testimonial style content. It speaks louder than your words. It's going to hold more weight than your words.
Thank
It
you.
makes you look more legitimate.
One comment that is very interesting from Johnny said, I've started using ChatGPT. What are your thoughts on using ChatGPT for creating copy?
That's a great question. So ChatGPT, I've tried using ChatGPT for my copy as well. I don't think it's the best copywriting solution right now, at least not how it is. However, there are other AI platforms that you can use successfully, in my experience. It depends on what you want to pay for, though, right? Like, I copyright a lot, and so for me, it's important for me to free up my time. So like, I bought a copywriting engine. Like, I paid to have myself cloned um into an AI bot. And so like, when
Mm.
you're doing it like that, in my opinion, it is worth it. Because you may notice with AI copy, it's like uncover or unleash, and it says all these almost like gimmicky words. And because AI is so used now, it's so easy to spot. Like, at first, nobody knew what to look for with AI, but like, I don't know about you guys, but I can spot AI pretty quickly with copy. You see like the rockets, and it's like a suitcase emoji, and it's like unleash, unlock, game changer. Like, you can see and you can tell when it's AI. So if you're using it, it's great in my opinion. I would not use it for 100% of my messaging. I would use it for ideas, and then maybe pull what I like out of it, and then I would recraft it to sound the way I would want it to sound.
Awesome.
What I found useful with ChatGPT is giving it something that I've written and either asking it to create more of a précis of it, or give me 10 eye-catching headlines or pieces that I like and make use of them, be something myself.
Yeah, I agree with you, Phil. I am able to generate a lot of ideas and get a lot of help in that regard,
Doesn't
but not
surprise
for
me.
like, well, yeah, of course, but like, not recommend you use it or plan to use it unless you have a custom AI solution, Johnny.
Awesome.
Does that make sense? Awesome. Okay, cool. And I'll show you guys because I mean, I don't know why I've written a lot of copy using the AI, using ChatGPT before I cloned myself, because it was awesome. I just had a framework and I would follow it and make it look prettier. And I'll show you guys what that looks like. And if you just try to model it, you can use ChatGPT all day if you want.
What other AI software would you recommend for a better copy than just ChatGPT?
So, I don't know if it's released to market yet. But Darren Gibb, do you remember him from the group with our
Yes,
coach?
yes, yes, yes. I had a
He
talk with him.
has an incredible, and actually I'll show you guys this if y'all want, but he has an incredible copy engine, which I'll show you in a minute. And this is the only thing I personally recommend. It writes like me. It is incredible. And I'll actually I'll pull it up here in a moment and I'll show you. Like, it is good. But that's probably the only official clone that I'm aware of that writes the caliber that I would write. ChatGPT is great though. Oh, Gemini. I've heard Gemini, really good things about Gemini as well, if people want to try testing that out. So let me get through this and then I'll show you guys the
Sure,
AI
please.
thing that I use.
Yeah.
So, okay. This was a big important quote that Alex said. And he said it to me while he was training me, and like, guys, when I tell you, it was like a boot camp for creative writing. It was so weird. Like, it's like the weirdest, coolest experience I ever had. And he told me, he was like, the first thing you have to admit is that you suck. And then once you admit that, you're gonna do better. And it was pretty easy to admit after he ripped me apart every single day for like a month. Um, so he really, really powerful, very transformative. But if you guys can admit that you suck and allow yourself to practice so that we don't suck, you'll get better. And I want to be really clear, AI is great, but if you don't know how to write at least decent copy, you won't know if the copy that AI is giving you is good or not, right? So you still
Exactly.
have to practice. Okay? It's really important to know that. Let's talk about some pro tips. Um, we already talked about this. 20 to 27% of what you write will ever get read. So less is more. Use less words, like what Payman was saying. Make sure every word is going to pay its rent, since only 20 to 27% get read. Okay. Don't write long paragraphs. I'm going to show you what I mean here in a minute. You don't want to do that. It's not worth it. Okay. Don't be an English teacher. It's okay to have bad grammar, okay? Instead of saying like I'm going to the store, I don't know, you could say I'm gonna go to the store. Sound human. If you're ever curious of what that human sound looks like, just read Alex Hormozi's copy. Go to his stuff,
Mhm.
read his book, read anything. I mean, he talks like a human in his stuff. You can talk like a human in your
This book,
copy.
guys, gold.
Yep. People will resonate with you more if it seems like reading your content feels like reading a pamphlet at the doctor's office, they're probably not going to resonate with you. So just be yourself. However you talk, however you sound, whatever your dialogue sounds like, write it down. It's your business. Nobody's gonna get mad at you for having poor grammar. In fact, we at Gym Launch, when I worked for Hormozi, we would purposefully have poor grammar in there. Poor grammar makes you seem human. It makes the system not seem robotic, and it makes people
Mhm.
resonate with you more because now you're human. You made a mistake, so it's a good thing
Mm.
to have poor grammar. Okay, and then the final thing is to keep your copy conversational. Okay, try to ask a question like, if it's like, uh, my client was able to generate $2.1 million in sales last year with absolutely no ads. How? By leveraging an old email list of 20,000 emails. And how? And then you just keep on answering questions. So, like, you expand on it, you ask a question, you expand on that answer, then you ask the next natural question that your prospect would likely ask while you're telling a story. Okay. Um, So there's that. And let me actually, I'll show you the tool real quick. So real quick before I do that, that was my presentation, guys. I know we're getting off track, but I want to hurry up and show you the stuff that I promised I'd show you. This is the tool that I had this awesome dude build out for me. If anybody wants the information, he's on LinkedIn. I can drop his information. He built it for me. He's amazing. The tool is really cool. You just choose what kind of content you want to drop. So like, you choose your topic. So like this would be the topic. So it would be like, why my topic's going to be, why lead gen marketing agencies are sleeping on their email lists.
Mm. Or on the
Right. So I put in
podcasting,
my
for example.
information.
Mhm.
What do you say?
Or on podcasting, why most entrepreneurs are
Oh
sleeping
yeah,
on
let's do that.
podcasting. Yeah.
That makes way more sense. Let's do it for yours. All right, go for it, Pan.
Why are most coaches, entrepreneurs, are sleeping on podcasting?
Okay. Why in the like this is gonna be like the topic. So why 99% of entrepreneurs
Are not
are
leveraging, yeah, or leveraging, yeah, something like that, yeah.
sleeping on podcasting.
For their businesses, yeah. To get
Yeah.
clients, to get leads and so.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Why not podcasting is actually hurting their business. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Wow.
There we go. So how do most people tend to see this topic? So like what's when you're what's usually the friction? What do others think when you talk about podcasting? And we'll talk about your unique perspective here in a moment, Lorenzo, but usually I'm guessing it's something like I simply don't have time, it's not a revenue generating activity. Is that usually it?
I'm not a techie. I don't know where to start. I have so many other things that I'm doing. And it takes too much time to monetize podcasting because under the impression that to make money through podcasting, you need to have a massive audience. But I cracked the code. I found a way that is you can get clients right away if you have no audience. And that's what I'm teaching here in my academy. And I've taught dozens and dozens of entrepreneurs. That's what completely changed my life as well.
Okay. So being a podcaster requires you to be technically inclined. Um, and
Spend
then
a ton of time and money and have a massive audience. These are some
and
misconceptions about podcast. Or podcasting is completely flooded. There's it's oversaturated.
okay, here we go. Being a podcaster requires you to be technically inclined. It also requires you to have a large audience and costs and wastes a ton of money.
And time. Yeah.
Money and time. Perfect. All right. And then, so what's your unique take on this, Lorenzo?
I use podcasting as a way to build rapport and trust, because when you're selling high ticket, it's all about trust. And I use podcasting to build that trust with my ideal prospect, my ideal audience, and my clients. Just like Jay says, by helping, by building trust and rapport without being sleazy and salesy, by connecting heart to heart, that's where doing business becomes a natural, automatic, organic progression, when there's no need for you to sell, to convince, to pitch, as I like to say in a funny, cheesy way, to seduce or kidnap someone to do business with you.
All right, perfect. So I use podcasting as a way to build rapport with my ideal. Additionally, I've found a way to not only, or additionally, I've found podcasting creating I've learned, or I want to talk about how easy it is. So
I was the most untechy guy ever, and I'm still not a techie, but I just learned what I needed to learn through YouTube. YouTube,
okay.
guys, is the biggest university in the world.
Okay. I used to be the most tech averse.
Untechy. I used to be painfully,
guy.
externally shy. I couldn't even hold a conversation if I didn't know you by and looking into your eyes. I couldn't do that.
Shy. But now I
Can't shut
have
me up.
but now you can't shut me up. There we go. You can't shut me up, and my business is growing faster than ever. I don't know.
And working with my ideal clients, doing what I love, finding my purpose, my voice, and so on and so on.
Clients doing what I love. So you're just kind of, it doesn't have to be structured, guys. It doesn't have to look good here, by the way. Like we're not doing anything now. We just want to write. This is our mic drop moment. This is like the one sentence you want to remind people with. So like this could be something like, if you're still sleeping on podcasts in 2024, what are you doing? Something like that.
You hate money?
Yeah.
Stop playing small.
If you're still, if you're still, or if you still don't, here we go. If your business still doesn't have a podcast in 2024, why?
Another spin would be if you don't have a way to get leads on demand, you're doing something wrong.
Results. Do you hate endless lead flow?
Yeah.
There you go.
Love that.
All right. So I'm going to give it a moment. The AI is going to do its thing. And so what's cool about this is I do this, it generates it. And then let me pull up my Trello board. So while I'm waiting for it to generate, I'll read you some of my other copy. I don't remember what the last copy is that I wrote for, so we'll see what I wrote last time. Oh, this is not mine. He's refining my stuff for me. There we go. Let me show you guys one of my other ones. Okay, so I wrote this for one of my clients. So one of my clients, she does facials, right? This is a random one, okay? It's an esthetician. She offers facial services. This is like what the AI put out for me. This is AI after me putting in like kind of like what I did right here. It says, you think facials are just pampering. They're actually your skin's best defense. Facials, not just a luxury, a necessity. For those neglecting their skin, remember, it's your health. Many see facials as an indulgence. They're wrong. Facials are crucial. They're not just about relaxation. They keep you looking young, vital, necessary, therapeutic. If you're not into self-care and detest unwinding, move along. But if transforming your skin with just an hour to spare sounds appealing, book a facial and see the results yourself. So that's an example, but here it just dropped hours. All right. I used to avoid the microphone like a bad cold. Now my voice opens wallets. Podcasting. You think it's not for you.
Whoa.
No tech skills, no massive following, right? Wrong. I was there. Tech-averse and shy, but now I'm unstoppable. Podcasts have built my network. They've built trust. And yes, they've effortlessly closed high-ticket deals. Why? Because your voice reaches hearts and ears are always open. If your business still doesn't have a podcast in 2024, why? Do you hate money? Do you hate results? Do you hate endless lead flow?
If you don't
Right?
mind, I'm gonna
So
screenshot that, Anna, because that is
go
pure
for it.
gold. Wow.
Y'all see why I like this tool? This was the best investment I ever did for me and my business. Best investment ever.
Yes. It's not cheap.
Let me know when you're ready and I'll show you the next
I had
one.
a talk with Darren. It's not cheap, but it's definitely worth it. Yes.
Yeah, no, this is nice. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the next one because I did another version. So I turned my introvert's nightmare into a sales machine. Here's why a podcast was my game changer. Podcasting seems tough. You think it's all tech and big audiences and money down the drain? Wrong. I used to dread tech and talking, an introvert's nightmare. But here's the flip. Podcasting, it's how I connect deeply with my people. The result, trust, leads, sales, rocket ship emoji.
Oof.
If your business still doesn't have a podcast in 2024, why? And then go from there. So this is like another version of it. Y'all see, like, if you have Johnny, do you feel like this is a lot different than ChatGPT?
Oh yeah. I'm taking screenshots here.
Yeah, it's amazing. So if you're using the right AI, yeah, it could absolutely do most of the stuff for you, but you have to use the right AI. So
The difference I experienced there is I felt the language in that. I felt I was speaking to a person, like their heart. And I think, and well, I feel in my work that that's what a lot of people are looking for, the human connection. You know, they don't, it's like when you're on a telephone and you're getting the press number 7 for this, and 2 hours later, you're still going round in circles. People want to connect heart to heart and they want to feel you. So if it's automated and fake, then yeah, I don't feel, well, in my work, that's not what people are looking for. 99% it's they're looking for connection, human connection.
Absolutely.
well, I really enjoyed this. I actually have a meeting in about 2.5 minutes from now. I'm going to send you the link that I want everybody to have for those emails. This is copy that I use in my emails. Whenever you're looking at this, guys, I want you to pay attention to the way it's structured. You're going to notice, just like how the copy I showed you just now, you notice how there's very short sentences? It's only like one sentence, then there's a space, and then there's the next sentence. That's exactly how you want to do it. Do not have like 3 or 4 sentences. Don't do paragraphs. People won't read it. They're going to get lost in the sauce and then they're going to scroll by. We don't want that. So, one sentence, keep it short, keep it sweet. Every word needs to pay its rent. Tell a story, make it compelling, make them feel it, like Johnny said, okay?
And speak from the heart.
Yes, of course.
Anna,
Guys, so cool meeting you.
thank you so much. If put
so
your contacts if people want to reach out to you. And all of you guys, when you launch a podcast, make sure that Anna is your first guest. And speaking of you, Anna, time for next week for you to be on my show. And when you launch a podcast, I'd love to help you with that. You know who's going to be the first guest for you?
Oh, you.
No, sure. Alex, you need to interview him. That's going to blow you up, your podcast to the moon. Seriously.
I don't know. He's a busy man. I don't know if he's going to have time for all that.
Yeah,
But I could probably have a lot of my old gym lunch. I could probably bring some people from the team on at least.
exactly.
They'd probably come on. But
Awesome. Listen,
guys,
you're amazing. Thank you so much. Love your passion. Love what you're doing. You're a gift. Keep shining a light, my dear friend. And God bless. Thank you.
thank you. There's my Facebook page.
Take care.
Oh,
Thanks,
thank you,
Hannah.
Suzanne. Nice seeing you
Take
guys.
care.
My link's in there, guys. Follow me on Facebook or add me. I'll add you back. Have a great day and good night.
Take care. Thank you. Thank you. You're the
Bye.
best. Take care. Wow. How do you guys like that? Was she awesome or phenomenal? I love bringing her. And plus, she has an amazing heart. She decided to come back again tonight. So, wow. And this lady, guys, she's not cheap. She charges 4 or 5 figures for per project. And she just showed it. So don't be shy. Reach out to her. She's amazing. All right, let me just stop this recording.